It's like,
Okay, Alzheimer's. This is a project on nanoparticles that Alan Mascoro,
and Jose Bonilla.
did. Okay, going on to the types of nanoparticles used. The types of nanoparticles used for this disease are metal nanoparticles. They can cross BBB and possess better bioavailability, stability, biocompatibility, solubility, and target specifically. And this is all due to their surface area, their size ranging from 1 to 200 nanometers, and their physicochemical properties. Some examples of these nanoparticle metals would be gold, selenium, zinc, and iron. They all have a positive effect on Alzheimer's. They don't fully stop it, but they do alleviate the symptoms. The way they're used are for silver, it would be through the source of Nepenthes cassinia. It's in the spherical shape. It ranges from 10 to 15 nanometers. And administration through intraperitoneal. And gold, which is a source of Terminalia argunum. They have a spherical shape and they range from 20 to 30 nanometers, and they are administration in vitro study. This image down below shows the difference between neuroprotective metal nanoparticles and neurotoxic metal nanoparticles. The the two nanoparticles that I just mentioned are in the neuroprotective, and they show symptoms of antioxidant, they DNA repair, and they basically do things that help the brain avoid or alleviate the brain from Alzheimer's. Going on to the application nanoparticles. They can be administered through oral, intraocular, intratracheal, intravenous, intraperitoneal, and intranasal. This, the purpose of the application of nanoparticles is to control the death of the neurons by reducing the caspase enzyme levels and inhibiting apoptosis. The decrease in acetylcholinesterase enzyme also alleviates the symptoms of Alzheimer's. They reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines like TNF-A and IL-6. Through reducing these cytokines, they help to avoid the risk of Alzheimer's. So as mentioned, they don't stop they don't stop it, and they don't uh, solve the problem, but they do alleviate the symptoms, and they do avoid getting Alzheimer's. And an example in this image right here goes over all the causes that lead to neurodegeneration, which is Alzheimer's. You can see that neuroinflammation is one, and as mentioned, the nanoparticles are trying to, well, they don't try, but they reduce the level of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which helps alleviate the process. Going on to the next slide. You can see
Awesome.
this next slide, right?
I see. So what exactly do nanoparticles do? So there's four main type of nanoparticles that are used for treating Alzheimer's, which are gold nanoparticles, silver nanoparticles, selenium, and zinc oxide nanoparticles. Each kind of nanoparticle has different properties, which may help treat Alzheimer's in a different way. So, for example, gold nanoparticles, it possesses antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. The effects of this is yes, it helps oxidative distress, it suppresses activation of certain immune cells in the brain. So it helps like the immune system in the brain to clean it. And the second one will be silver nanoparticles. It helps the mitochondrial activation and antioxidant activity. So because it helps the mitochondria, it helps with the energy in the brain. It acts as a defender against harmful substances, and it reduces also inflammation in the brain. The third one will be selenium nanoparticles. It's very similar to gold particles too, since it also displays antioxidant properties. It improves antioxidant defense and reduces oxidative stress. So a lot of oxidative antigens against antioxidants. And the reason this is so important, all three main particles in the beginning help is because as the word starts the memory will get. So these particles will help it slow down and keep the what do you call it, the memory as Alzheimer's get worse to stays the same and it doesn't get worse. And the last one be zinc oxide nanoparticles. This is a little bit different. It does have inflammatory on the process of it, so it helps against harmful clumps. It reduces signal of inflammation, and it also helps the memory itself in the brain. And you can see this picture here shows the type of nanoparticle, silver nanoparticle, iron, or gold, and there's other examples too that will be. And for the next slide,
Can you see it?
uh, right from my slide. So this improve upon the current technology for this application. So as we said in the last three slides, nanoparticles is not an exact cure for Alzheimer's. It will only help advance what we have already. So, for example, so we can have when Alzheimer's is developing at an early technology. So, with the new technology like gold and silver, we can help it slow down even more. And we can also create new treatments, and it can reach new places. And because how small it is, it can create slow down even more, like I previously said. And for references,
And these are our references. All right, that's all.